We are back once again with Ethan Forman of the Gloucester Times, talking all things Gloucester and Cape Ann at large, I guess. How you doing, Ethan?
Hey, Kory, thanks very much. Busy morning for me, so I appreciate hanging out with you.
Yeah, we're squeezing this in because I think are you off to the Beauport now about Cape Ann Works?
Yeah, I'm putting together a story. This is for next week to get a preview. I don't know if you remember back in the spring, we talked about this program called Cape Ann Works. They were going to attract international students with H-1 visas, work visas.
Yeah.
Come in, they were allowed to come in for the summer and work,
And I guess it's
and
been pretty successful this year too.
Yeah, and the whole idea is that Gloucester, Gloucester has a demand for seasonal businesses, seasonal help,
Yep.
and the businesses are crunched. And if you don't have help, you can't open. So at this point, the programs are running for a few months, and it's been pretty successful. Now, remember, this wasn't something that was done by an organization. It wasn't done by a college. It was done by Bruce Tarr, I think Ann Margaret Ferranti, and Michelle Brown,
Yep.
and without the Beauport, Lenny Linguada, the Gloucester House. So we're getting together and say, let's do this on our own. And they were able to get the Cape Ann Transportation Authority, CATA, to run a bus line, and they convinced Gordon College to put the kids up.
Yeah. Very cool all around.
I mean, this is usually something that you would see out of a college. So these kids, I met a few kids yesterday at the the Blue Collar Lobster down at the Gloucester House. They were there. There was a meeting with some business professionals talking about the program, how it works. So they have an international company that works with the kids to get their visas and their paperwork, and then they come. But see, what's interesting is a lot of businesses will sponsor kids on their own, but and then they're just maybe they're housed, but they don't have any transportation. This is the soup to nuts. So the kids are, I met three kids from Romania, good English, great English. Another kid from Turkey, and that because they're all housed together in Gordon College, they've all made friends from all over Europe.
Impressive. Yeah.
So, and then the local component is they attracted local kids as well.
Yeah. And so, Ethan, is the idea is so obviously the program is meant to continue now, right? And so is that where, because I know they're going to start pitching to other businesses just to let them know that this resource is available now.
Yeah, and I think it's for next year. I think if you want it to keep going, you have to sort of, this proof is in the pudding. I think this was a pilot year, and the kids are telling me that they're going home in October. Their visas run through October, then they go back to school. I guess you go back to school a little bit later in Europe. So the kids are studying law, and they got a great experience in Gloucester. Some of them never even heard of Gloucester before. Can you believe that?
Yeah, right, right.
But yeah, so I'm working on that.
Yeah, good news for business owners here. If you are looking for help next summer, drop us a line here. We'll help you get in touch with the folks at Cape Ann Works. Good stuff there, Ethan. You had a big story today running about pop-up shops.
Yeah, no, it was a really fascinating thing. This is another thing that I previewed. City won a grant to create pop-up shops at 206 Main Street, which is the Action and North Shore CDC building, Harbor Village. 30 units, and then on the ground floor they got mixed use. Used to be, I guess, Cameron's back in the day.
Oh yeah,
never.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you missed out there, Ethan.
So that's gone, but in its place is a housing development. I guess a successful housing development. They had a storefront, and Action agreed to lease the storefront, sublet it to the entrepreneurs. They get a subsidized rent. They don't have to pay first and last month's rent. And we got a company, Beach Goods. I'll hold up their card right here. Beach Goods here. There you go.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
She learned about the program on Instagram through Innovate Gloucester's Instagram page. So, hey, Instagram, that's great. And then another company called Create and Escape Creative Studios, which has already activated a Main Street in Peabody, Mass.
That's right. I know Wendy very well. She does a great job.
She's a Gloucester kid, and lives in Peabody. And she and her sister have have created a business on Main Street in Peabody. And this the same kind of grant program, Lease It Local, a few years ago. And so that's a great North Shore connection. So let's not be on an island. We're on an island, but let's not be on an island, and let's have these connections. So I went to the ribbon cutting. Mayor Verga was there. Bruce Tarr was there. Officials for the program. They hired a company called Up Next. With that facilitates these kind of pop-ups. Because the city, if the city was going to do it, how do you create a pop-up? This company specializes in it. So it's a $50,000 grant from the Mass Office of the Business Office and the North Shore Alliance for Economic Development. Well, so many moving parts, a little bit too many moving parts. But
I like this though, Ethan. It's a good opportunity for those small and micro businesses through pop-ups and co-ops to keep their lights turned on for a while, so they can get their legs and hopefully turn into a positive business model.
So in October, there'll be 2 more businesses. And the hope is that maybe the proof is in the pudding and these businesses will find another location on Main Street nearby and activate what is kind of I don't want to say a dead zone, but it's not as bustling as it was.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Well, check that out. That's your headline today, folks, on the paper. So you can check that out. Now, Ethan, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the biggest story to hit Gloucester in months now. Tacos at Plum Cove Beach. Let's get them.
I have never been to a more beautiful location for a meeting.
I bet. Yeah.
I mean, I should have brought a towel. It wasn't the best sunset. I'm told the sunsets are really gorgeous there. But some neighbors on Linwood Place had objected to the taco taco trailer setting up. Now, in some ways, you can sit there and say, look, there's no zoning for business here, and here's this noisy generator. What's this all about? Parking's kind of tough down there, and Washington Street is not. You got 20 miles an hour any faster, and I'm like,
it's like playing Frogger trying to cross the street there.
Yeah. So I mean, there are legitimate concerns, but I think the neighborhood came out. There's a local guy, Ross Franklin, chef. I guess he's cooked all over Gloucester. And he decided to go out on his own, an entrepreneur. And it's been successful, very successful, very tasty too. I tried the California Rollin'. So it's not just tacos, it's tater tots as well. And so we had this meeting on the beach. About kind of 120 people turned out, and most were 4. And it wasn't a city council meeting, though there was actually a quorum of the council was there. But it's nothing. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to go forward. I don't think there's any move to eliminate the vendor space. There's a fixed vendor space there. There's no move. There's 6 of them around the city. I don't think there's any move to do that. You'd have to have a counselor put in that kind of order. So I guess Ross gets to stay. And and again, the neighbors weren't objecting to the tacos, and they weren't objecting to Ross. They're saying next year somebody could come in, win that bid, and it could be more intrusive. But that's hypothetical, I mean, I don't know. It's like these fixed vendor sites have been around for like 26 years or something like that.
Yeah, a long time. It's
the first time a vendor picked up on this. And boy, Plum Cove Beach is beautiful. What a beautiful place. Boy, the residents of Lanesville are very lucky to have this amenity. And now they can have a bite to eat while they're on the beach.
There you go. And we know the owner, Ross, has gone out of his way to help quiet the generator a bit. And there's talk about maybe moving porta potties that are near the location, but it sounds like it should work out.
Yeah. He spent $1,000. It's a business just turning up and spent $1,000, and it is probably the quietest generator I've ever heard. So there you go.
Good stuff. All's well that ends well. Okay, great work as always, Ethan. We'll let you go to the Beauport Hotel, and we'll be looking forward to your next story.
Thanks very much.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.